What if your deepest fears and guilt took physical form? Welcome to Silent Hill 2, where psychology takes on a horrifying reality. Silent Hill 2, a video game that masterfully intertwines the elements of horror and psychology, is unlike any other. This is not your typical haunted mansion or zombie apocalypse scenario. Here, the horror is deeply personal, a manifestation of the protagonist's own psyche. The very town of Silent Hill, shrouded in fog and mystery, is a character in itself. It breathes, it watches, and it adapts, morphing into a tangible panorama of the main character's guilt, fears, and suppressed memories. The game's unique approach to horror is what sets it apart. It doesn't just aim to scare you, it strives to unsettle you, to make you question what's real and what's a product of a tormented mind. The monsters aren't just creatures lurking in the dark, they're symbols, grotesque mirrors, reflecting the darkest corners of the human psyche. And then there's the history of Silent Hill. The town has a past, a story that seeps into every rotting building and every desolate street. It's a past that's intrinsically tied to the protagonist's journey, a past that adds another layer of dread to the already oppressive atmosphere. It's a past that is, in many ways, a mirror of the main character's own history. But it's not just about the horror. Silent Hill 2 also explores themes of loss, guilt, and redemption. It's a journey into the mind of a man haunted by his past, a man forced to confront his demons in their most terrifying form. It's a game that challenges you to look beyond the surface, to delve into the symbolism and uncover the hidden meanings. So what does it all mean? Why is Silent Hill such a magnet for tormented souls? And what are the real-life parallels that make this game so eerily relatable? These are the questions we'll be exploring as we dive deeper into the psychological labyrinth that is Silent Hill 2. Now prepare to descend into the foggy abyss of Silent Hill 2, where the horror is not just what you see, but what you feel. Before we delve deeper into the psychological labyrinth of Silent Hill 2, let's pause for a moment. If you're finding this deep dive into the dark corners of this extraordinary game as captivating as we do, remember to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, so you won't miss out on our future explorations. Now let's prepare ourselves to venture into the unknown as we continue our journey through the foggy streets of Silent Hill and the mind of James Sunderland. Stay tuned as we further unravel the symbolism, the monsters, and the eerie allure that makes Silent Hill 2 a masterpiece of psychological horror. Buckle up, because things are about to get even more disturbing. Fear, guilt, and denial. Silent Hill 2 explores these emotions in a deeply unsettling way. The game's protagonist, James Sunderland, is a tormented soul, haunted by his past actions and unable to face the truth of his deeds. His journey into the eerie town of Silent Hill is not just a physical one, but a psychological journey into the depths of his own guilt and despair. Silent Hill 2 uses the medium of video gaming to explore complex psychological themes in a way that few other games have dared to attempt. The town itself, shrouded in fog and filled with monstrous creatures, is a reflection of James's own troubled psyche. The game's creators have cleverly used symbolism and metaphor to represent aspects of James's psychological state. The monsters that James encounters are not just random creatures, but symbolic representations of his deepest fears and anxieties. They are manifestations of his guilt, his denial, and his fear of confronting the truth about his past. The game's creators have crafted these creatures with a keen understanding of psychological symbolism, imbuing each one with a deeper meaning that adds layers to the game's narrative. The locations in Silent Hill 2 are filled with symbolism. The hospital, the hotel, the apartment complex, each one represents a different aspect of James's psyche, a different stage in his journey towards self-realization and acceptance. Silent Hill 2 also explores the concept of denial in a profound way. Throughout the game, James is confronted with the truth of his actions, but he constantly tries to deny it, to escape from it. This denial is represented in the game's puzzles and challenges, which often involve James trying to unlock doors or find hidden paths, symbolic representations of his attempts to uncover the truth and confront his guilt. In Silent Hill 2, your own mind can be your greatest enemy. The game forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that our fears, our guilt, and our denial can shape our reality in terrifying ways. It's a chilling exploration of the human psyche, a journey into the darkness that lies within us all. Monsters in Silent Hill 2 are not just creatures, they are manifestations of the psyche. When we delve into the shadowy corners of this game, every monster rises as a symbol, a reflection of the protagonist's inner turmoil, fears, and guilt. Let's start with the gruesome lying figures. These abominations, imprisoned in their own skin, symbolize confinement and torment. Their design mirrors the protagonist's feelings of being trapped by his own guilt and remorse. The way they move, their pitiful struggle, it's all a physical manifestation of the protagonist's psychological state. Moving forward, we encounter the flesh-lipped monsters. These chilling creatures, suspended in cages, symbolize the hospitalization and inevitable death of James's wife. Their grotesque appearance and sounds intensify the feeling of despair and the profound loss James experiences. Next are the mannequins. These humanoid figures, composed of female legs, represent the protagonist's repressed desires and his objectification of women. Their presence serves as an ongoing reminder of his subconscious guilt and his struggle with his own morality. The bubblehead nurse, another Hill 2 monster, embodies James's repressed sexual desires during his wife's prolonged illness. The suggestive appearance and provocative behavior of these monsters underscore the protagonist's inner conflict and guilt. The abstract daddy monster takes symbolism to an entirely different level. Seen from James Sunderland's perspective, it serves as an abstract manifestation of Angela Orozco's sexual trauma and the memories of Sunderland's terminally ill wife. This monster embodies the fear and guilt associated with such traumatic events. The Creeper, though not directly related to James, adds a layer of horror and despair to the twisted world of Silent Hill 2. Their menacing presence and unpredictable movements reinforce the sense of constant danger and unease. Lastly, we cannot overlook Pyramid Head, the most iconic monster of Silent Hill 2. This relentless pursuer is the ultimate manifestation of the protagonist's self-punishment and guilt. Its relentless chase and its final act of self-destruction mirror the protagonist's own journey towards self-realization and atonement. These monsters are not merely designed to scare you, they are deeply rooted in the protagonist's psyche. Their presence, their actions, their design, all hold significant psychological implications. Silent Hill 2 is not just a horror game, it's a psychological study of guilt, fear, and repressed emotions. The monsters are not just enemies, they are the physical manifestation of inner demons, deeply personal and intrinsically tied to the protagonist's mental state. These monsters are not just adversaries to overcome, they are mirrors reflecting our darkest emotions. As we wander the foggy streets of Silent Hill, we are forced to confront not just these terrifying creatures, but the very fears and guilt they represent. They remind us that sometimes the most frightening monsters are the ones we create within our own minds. Why are we drawn to places of horror? What is the allure of Silent Hill? There's an old saying that goes, "Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder." This couldn't be more true for the town of Silent Hill. To the uninitiated, it is a place of nightmares, a labyrinth of fog and decay where monstrous apparitions lurk in every shadow. But to those who are called to it, Silent Hill is a mirror, a reflection of the psyche steeped in symbolism and drenched in the surreal. The town's history is as murky as its fog-shrouded streets. Once a bustling coal mining town, a devastating fire turned it into a ghost town overnight. But the true horror of Silent Hill lies not in its past, but in its present. The town has a unique way of drawing in people, not for what it is, but for what it represents, a tangible manifestation of their deepest fears and darkest secrets. Silent Hill is not just a town, it's a state of mind. It's a psychological construct that mirrors the mental state of those who enter it. Each person sees a different Silent Hill, a town reshaped by their guilt, their pain, their unresolved trauma. It's a place where the monsters are not just creatures, but embodiments of personal demons. So, what is the allure of Silent Hill? It's the allure of the uncanny, the attraction to the abhorrent, the fascination with the grotesque. It's a place where reality is distorted, where the line between the real and the surreal is blurred. It's a place that allows us to confront our deepest fears, to face our darkest secrets, to confront the monsters within us. But perhaps, most compellingly, it's the allure of resolution. Silent Hill is a town that promises redemption, a chance to face our demons and find absolution. It's a place where amidst the horror and the chaos there is the potential for catharsis, for healing, for change. Silent Hill, a town that's not just a location but a state of mind. The journey into Silent Hill is not just a physical journey, but a psychological one. Imagine, if you will, you're the protagonist, trudging through the foggy streets of this eerie town. Every step you take, every corner you turn, is a representation of your journey through the labyrinth of your own guilt and fear. The town, with its desolate buildings and monster-infested streets, is a physical manifestation of your internal struggles, your deepest fears, and darkest secrets. This is not just a walk in the park, it's a terrifying journey into the abyss, a plunge into the depths of your own psyche. Silent Hill, in its grotesque beauty, is a mirror reflecting back at you your own demons and insecurities. The town is not just a place, it's an experience, a state of mind, a psychological construct designed to confront, to challenge, and ultimately, to transform you. The symbolism and metaphor used throughout this journey are not just mere artistic choices. They are deliberate, calculated decisions designed to evoke a certain emotional response, to tell a story without words. The monsters you encounter, for instance, are not just creatures to be defeated. They are the embodiment of your fears, your guilt, your regrets. They are a physical representation of the battles you're fighting within your own mind. The buildings, the streets, the fog, everything about Silent Hill is designed to make you feel uncomfortable, disoriented, lost. And that's because in many ways you are. You're lost in your own mind, navigating through your own guilt and fear, trying to find a way out, a way to redemption. The journey through Silent Hill is a metaphorical journey through the human mind, a deep dive into the complexities of human psychology. It's a journey that forces you to confront your fears, to face your guilt, to come to terms with your past. It's a journey that, despite its horror and despair, ultimately leads to self-discovery and transformation. Every step in Silent Hill 2 is a step deeper into the human psyche. Silent Hill 2 is a game, but its themes and symbols resonate with real-life experiences. Now let's dive into how this chilling world mirrors our own. The game's themes of fear, guilt, and denial are not merely fictitious constructs. They are the shared human experiences that bind us together. They are the emotions that we grapple with in our day-to-day lives, and Silent Hill 2 brings them to the fore in a way that is both terrifying and compelling. Consider the fear that permeates Silent Hill 2. It's not just the fear of the unknown or the fear of what lurks in the shadows. It's the fear of facing ourselves, our mistakes, our regrets. Often, we are our own worst enemies, and Silent Hill 2 encapsulates this through its haunting narrative and eerie atmosphere. Then there's guilt, a prevalent theme throughout the game. Guilt can be a heavy burden, a weight that drags us down, and Silent Hill 2 does a remarkable job of portraying this. The protagonist, James Sunderland, is tormented by guilt, and this inner turmoil is something many of us can relate to. Denial also plays a significant role in Silent Hill 2, and it's something we all grapple with in our lives. We deny our feelings, our mistakes, our realities, and in doing so, we create our own Silent Hills, places of torment and confusion. From my perspective, Silent Hill 2 is a psychological study, a mirror reflecting our darkest emotions. It forces us to confront the monsters within us, the fears, guilt, and denial that we often try to bury. Every step taken in the foggy town is a step into the abyss of our own psyches, a journey that's both horrifying and enlightening. Silent Hill 2 is not just a game. It's a reflection of our inner struggles, our darkest fears, and our deepest guilt. It's a journey into the human psyche, an exploration of the emotions that make us who we are. Silent Hill 2, a game that forces us to confront our own fears and guilt. What is the ultimate purpose of Silent Hill 2? Hold on to your seats, because the truth might shock you. Silent Hill 2, a masterpiece of psychological horror, is so much more than a simple survival game. It is a journey into the depths of the human psyche, a voyage that explores the darkest corners of guilt, despair, and redemption. But what is its ultimate purpose? Some argue that the game's purpose is to provide a cathartic experience. It forces us to confront our deepest, darkest fears and traumas, allowing us to come to terms with them. It's a process of self-discovery and self-healing, a path towards redemption. It's an invitation to face the monsters of our psyche, to understand them, and ultimately, to conquer them. Others believe Silent Hill 2 is a cautionary tale. It warns us of the dangers of repressed guilt, of the monsters that can take root in the depths of our psyche if we refuse to confront our sins. It reminds us that we cannot outrun our past, that we must face it head-on if we ever hope to find peace. But there's a third theory, a more intriguing one. Some suggest that Silent Hill 2 is actually a psychological experiment. The town, the monsters, the entire ordeal, they're all part of a grand experiment designed to study the human psyche under extreme conditions. The town of Silent Hill is a testing ground, a place where the human mind is pushed to its limits to see what it's truly capable of. Regardless of the theory you subscribe to, one thing is clear. Silent Hill 2 is a game that goes beyond the superficial horror. It delves deep into the human psyche, exploring themes of guilt, despair, and redemption in a way few other games dare to. It's a game that challenges us, that forces us to look inward to confront our own monsters. Silent Hill 2, a game where the horror lies not just in the monsters but in the mind itself. In the end, Silent Hill 2 is not just a game, but a psychological journey. It takes us into the depths of the human psyche, exploring our deepest fears and darkest secrets. It's a labyrinth of symbolism, where monsters embody our inner demons, and the town itself mirrors our unresolved past. The allure of Silent Hill is its capacity to reflect us. It is a place where reality and nightmare intertwine, creating a world that is both terrifying and fascinating. The journey into this abyss is a metaphor for our own personal journeys of self-discovery and confrontation with our darkest fears. In the real world, Silent Hill 2 serves as a mirror, reflecting our own psychological struggles and experiences. The ultimate purpose of the characters in the game is a haunting reminder that our own worst enemy can often be ourselves. Until next time, remember, in Silent Hill 2, the real horror is within you.